everyone, welcome to Vysh Ias YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about post-independence women's movement. So, I welcome you all to Indian Society lecture series. So, if you have not subscribed the channel yet, please subscribe it, like the video and share it with your friends and leave your comment in the comment section. Okay, let's start the video. Okay, let's start the post-independence women movements. So there are the constitutional provisions and the social legislations regarding the women movements after the independence. So the Constitution of Independent India followed the basic principle of the women equality. It was accepted in the Fundamental Right Resolution in the Karachi Congress. It was accepted in the Karachi Congress Fundamental Rights Resolution. And there was a provision of Article 15(3) which actually empowered the state to make special provisions on women and children. Okay, and suggests there was a realization of women's disadvantaged position, and there was a need for the state to enact special provisions to bring them at par with men. So the 15(3) was added in the constitution. So during the freedom movement, it was felt that with the nation's independence, there will be many disabilities and problems of women attributed to the colonial rule. So the national government undertook to remove the legal disabilities suffered by women and initiated major reforms initiated the major reforms in the Hindu family laws. The legal reforms in the year 1950s sought to provide greater rights to the Hindu women in the marriages, in the guardianship, in the inheritance. However, it failed to bridge the gap between legal and the social responsibilities. But the similar changes in the family laws of communities like Muslims, Christians, Parsis, Jews have not come up, despite having the mention in the DPSPs regarding the need of the uniform laws for all the communities. And with the legislative measures in the 50s, women organization became passive and lost the vigor shown during the pre-independence period. And coming to the post-independence period, there are two important organizations for the rural women which were set up. They are the Kasturba Memorial Trust and the Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh. So this is the Indian rural women organization. The main objective was to assist the rural women in the developing leadership potential. So this is the main aim actually. Okay. Now let's learn about the planned development and the women issues. The first will be going through one by one the plans. So in the post-independence period, it was assumed that economic development policies, that is agriculture development, industrialization, modernization, technological development, will bring about better life for everyone including women. So the overall growth strategies failed to take note of the existing class, gender inequalities, caste inequalities. So planned development in India increased socio-economic equalities. Let's see the observation in more detail. So if you take the first 5-year plan, to approach with the first 5-year plan, it took place between the years 1951 to 1956. It was it was to promote or provide adequate services to promote welfare of the women, so to enable them to play their legitimate role in the family and to play their role in the community. Okay. Here the emphasis was on the welfare, and hence women were treated as recipients of the incentives which the state chose to give. The plan called for setting up a special organizations both at the central and the state levels to promote the welfare of the women, and the Central Social Welfare Board was set up in the year 1953 as part of it. It has several branches in several states also. These boards have been supporting and conducting a number of programs, mainly with the thrust on economic advancement. These boards were working upon. And the approach of the second, third, fourth, fifth plans were also same like the first 5-year plan. The welfare approach still guided policies and programs, but there is something new. Two new schemes were introduced in the next 4-year plans. So in the year 1956 to 61, the scheme called economic socio-economic program was introduced, and other one is the working girls hostels and the short stay homes was introduced in the fourth plan. Okay, working girls hostels and the short stay homes was introduced in the fourth year plan, and in the second year plan, socio-economic program was introduced. Okay, and there was a path towards equality because of a report which actually said the government and the different voluntary groups think about it. Okay, thinking about that particular report. So what happened is United Nations actually declared the International Decade for Women between 1975 to 1985, and as a part of it, it organized World Conference of Women in Mexico in the year 1975. So, a world plan of action formulated during this conference stressed the need for research, the analysis, the documentation into the process in which the society creates structures of gender inequalities. So, as a part of it, as a part of the resolution taken by this conference, India has set up a national committee on the status of women. It was set up in order to do a research on the inequalities which are existing in India. So it has given a report. Okay, the committee came up with some findings. So they have published a report popularly known as the Towards Equality Report 1974. It has become a landmark for the women's movement. So the beginnings of the women movement in India has often been traced back to this report actually. This report revealed this is what the report revealed. The deplorable conditions of women in the country are evident from the demographic data and from the socio-cultural condition analysis and the legal provisions and the safeguards, economic role played by women in all the sectors, women access for education, political participation, the policies and programs for welfare and development, and the impact on mass media. From all of this, it has released the report. It has showed how women are unequal and how women are not participating in all the sectors. The report actually paved the way for serious thinking on the status of women in different social institutions in India. And it showed the women were far behind men in enjoying the equal rights which were confirmed to them through the constitution. And report told about the debate in the parliament and showed the failure of the welfare approach which was taken in the first 5 year plans. So it kept all the voluntary organizations and all the other government, like state governments and the government, into thinking. They were thinking why this happened in spite of doing the welfareistic measures. So it provided the report also given several recommendations. So it gave important role of the state and community. They should work towards achieving the gender equality, and it has considered efforts to eliminate dowry, polygamy, bigamy, child marriages, and other social evils related to women. And it has told to make a campaign for legal awareness in order to make people assure about the legal provisions and also about women's welfare activities and all other things. So the next one is the sixth 5 year plan. So the from the sixth 5 year plan, that is it happened between 1980 to 1985. So sixth 5 year plan happened between 80 to 85. This marked a shift took place from the welfareistic approach to the development approach. While the welfare approach treated women as mere beneficiaries or recipients of the benefits, but the development approach recognized women as the participants. They need to participate in the development process. They are not merely the targets. They are now need to participate in the development targets. This is what sixth plan looked for. Okay, now let's come to the seventh plan. Seventh plan emphasized more on the employment generation, and there are some schemes which were introduced. There are steps. Step is nothing but support to training and employment. Okay, support to training and employment. This is step scheme. Okay, there was a support which was given for the training and employment for women, and the other one is the AGP. AGP is nothing but awareness generation program for rural and poor women. Awareness generation program for rural and poor women is the AGP program. So these two schemes were introduced as part of the 7th 5-year plan. This worked for the employment generation, and there were three important reports which were to serve as a useful guidelines for the future development programs of the government. Okay, these were also released during the 7th 5-year plan itself. They are the Sharma Shakti report of the National Commission of Self-Employed Women and Women in the Informal Sector, and the National Perspective Plan on Women in 1988 to 2000, and SARC Guidebook on Women in Development. So these three were acting as a guidelines. And the decade 1990 to 1920 actually was declared as a SARC decade of the girl child, and as a part of this, events, programs laying special thrust on giving special importance to the women took place. It was giving the special importance for the development of girl child. So that for this reason it was launched. And the next one, let's see the landmarks or highlights of the 8th plan. So the 8th plan or the 8th period also saw a revolutionary amendment to the Constitution of India, which provided for the reservation of the 1/3 seats in the Panchayati Raj for women, and also in the urban local governing self-governing bodies such as municipalities and the corporations to women. So the 73rd and the 74th constitutional amendments, which made the reservation possible, have gone down in the history's women empowerment in India as a democratic revolution. It served as a democratic revolution, because of which more than 40,000 women in local governing bodies across the country are going to participate in this process. This is only possible because of this 1/3 reservations which are given to the women through this amendment. So that is the reason we can call this amendment as a revolutionary amendment. And coming to the 9th 5-year plan, it strived from development towards the empowerment. So we have seen from first to the 5th 5-year plans made emphasis on the welfare. From the 6th, in the 6th, from welfare to development, in 7th, employment generation. 8th has actually included the participation of women in the politics, and in the 9th 5-year plan it moved towards empowerment, from development towards the empowerment. So to create an enabling environment, so actually for the environment to took place, women need to have an enabling environment in which their rights can be easily performed and they can exercise their rights and have freedom. So this plan strived to perform or create an enabling environment which enables women to exercise their rights and have freedom. As a part of it, national policy for empowerment of women was created by Government of India in 2001. And the other thing which is very important is the women's component plan. Actually, this plan was created, this plan directed both the central and the state governments to set apart at least 30% of the funds or the benefits in all the sector for the women development. In all the sector, 30% should be kept for the women. Okay, it should be reserved for the women in all the sectors for the development. This is what a women's component plan, which is very important, along with the national policy for the empowerment of women in the 9th 5-year plan. So we'll be discussing about the other 5-year plans in the next class, and we'll be also discussing women empowerment year of 2001 and the 10th 5-year plan, 11th and 12th 5-year plans, and role of voluntary organizations, and all in the next class. Okay, I hope so you are finding the lecture very interesting, because this is related to women, which is very concerned issue in the society. So focus on it. It is very favorite topic of UPSC. Each year women related issues are even asked in the essay topics, so put your interest on it. Okay, collect more data which will come in the newspaper so that you can quote in your answer. Okay, I am also providing the information of women related things in all the angles so that it will cover every point. Okay, apart from it, you need to collect the statistics which are very recent and which are appearing in the newspaper. So by taking all this into consideration, please hit the subscribe button so that you will be notified with all the content. And if you are preparing for the UPSC and you are a fresher, or if you are finding if you are having any struggles regarding it, you can send your problems to the number which is appearing on the screen, 7200681675. WhatsApp to this number, or if you want to join the test series also, you can contact through WhatsApp through this number which is appearing on the screen, or you can contact through the email ID. Okay, so thank you everyone. Let's meet with another video in the next class. Until then, take care. Bye bye.